We are live.
Alrighty.
Right. So, just to start off, hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to the broadcast. We are back with another live broadcast, and I have here Jocelyn. Here, Jocelyn
Nice.
with me. She's gonna be my anchor? That's what they call it.
Basically, I mean, I'm just happy to be here, so it doesn't really matter.
Right. So she's gonna be assisting me in everything. We do have another person coming. He might pop in at any point of time. So, just whenever he pops in, we'll just invite him
Add
to the
it.
chat. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe first. Follow us on our social media pages. Both of our social media pages will be linked down below. So please check us out. We got a lot of good stuff. This girl right here does makeup. She does makeup. She's funny as heck. And she has an amazing personality. So please check her out. You don't want to miss out on her. I can't get enough of Jocelyn. So
No, you'll see that today.
right.
You'll get to see more today.
And also, if you want to be a part of the panel, you want to be a part of the chat, please, please, please DM me in the post. I make my recent post advertising it, repost that, and let me know that you're interested in it. So, without further ado, I guess we will get started on our topics. So, the first thing I want to talk about, which I know everybody has experience with and everybody, speaks about, is I want to get into friendship. I really want to kind of dig into that and kind of see how, you know, everybody feels about friendship and all that kind of stuff. Like, do we have complications with it? Or so, yeah, I just want to get your overall opinion about friendship just to start.
Okay. So, Joseph, what do you think? How about you go first?
Well, I mean, in friendships, personally, I guess the question I would ask, well, for you is, do I feel like people have something to prove in friendship? Do you have something to prove? I guess that would be my question.
I feel like for me, I look for people who do have something to prove, and it's not in a bad way. Like before, like it escalates. No, it's actually in a way that if you can prove your loyalty, prove your friendship. Oh, hi.
This is
Hello.
Alex, guys. Just you just found. Oh, well, legs. You showing too much legs.
Oh, my bad. I
Yeah.
forgot to say that. Hello. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
We want to appeal to kids. Okay, Jocelyn. Sorry to cut you off. As we were saying.
Oh, but basically, from what I was saying about friendship, is I look for people to be. Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Joseph, what's the question again?
Alex, it's all your
Sorry.
fault.
Sorry.
Oh wait. Oh, something to prove. Something to prove. I got you. I got you.
Right. Yes, something to prove.
I look for people to prove like their loyalty. I look for people to prove their innocence, and I love for people just to prove themselves that they're not like a copycat type of person because I've met some like that. Not like somebody who's just gonna like be nice to me and then like turn around and talk bad about me behind my back. So that's why I look for people to prove like who they really are to me versus me like finding out in the end and then being heartbroken because I lost another friend. That's what I see it as.
So, Alex, what do you think?
I'm sorry. What's the topic?
So, the topic is friendship. And basically, do you feel like people have something to prove in friendships?
Okay. From my personal experience, for for me to really consider to call a friend, okay. For one, we're gonna have to be friends for a while because I've been through so much and I met so many type of people, been screwed over by so many type of people. So it's gonna take a lot. So like, not that I'm going to be like a jerk or anything to you for me to be able to trust you, but then it's like we're gonna have to be going through like some major stuff. Like I got you, you got me. And then it's like we're gonna have to build that connection all the way up to that point for like, hey, I think I could call you a friend. Cause it's like if I'm not there, then I'm not gonna say, "Hey, I think we're friends." I'm actually gonna tell you straight to your face, say, "Hey, man, we're just associates." And so it's like with a friend, if I could be like, "Hey, man, I'm about to go bury a body. You got my back," and then like if they ride down all the way with me, then it's like, man, that's a friend. They ain't gonna say nothing. They ain't gonna slip anything. Nothing coming out their mouth for the longest of time. Somebody could be telling the gunpoint, talking about, hey man, did he do this? He's talking about, nah, they don't see nothing. That's a friend.
But
Yes.
bro, that's crazy.
I guess I'll take this time to read a couple of comments on that. So we have Jacaitlin saying, "Hey y'all, hey, hi Jacaitlin, thank you for tuning in."
Hi.
She says, "On my way to work, but I'll watch the live when I get off." Um, she also says, "You showing too much legs." So we already fixed that issue. Yes. So,
Sorry.
but I guess I would have to like, okay. So as far as friendship goes, yes, I do feel like people have something to prove in a friendship because me personally, like from everybody who knows me knows that pretty much I don't call nobody or anybody friend. You'll be noticed as your name or as Mr., Sir, whoever. Like, and it will go on for months, and I will just not call you as friend. And for me, it's like a certain level of respect because me personally, I'm pretty much an open book. Like everything you see of me is like you get to meet me 100%. So anybody you ask me is like there it is. So yes, I do feel like you have something to prove to me, but then again, I also have something to prove to you because I want you to know that for one, that I'm gonna be available. I'm gonna be open with you. I'm gonna be that person you can lean on, that shoulder to cry on. So yeah, that's just my statement on it. But I do have another question with friendships. So, do you believe that friendships can cross over into different aspects as far as, your friends meeting your other friends, and creating relationships with them? Starting with Johnson.
Uh, so actually, my other best friend, like from back in the past, we're still friends. We actually met that way. So my best friend was her best friend, and one day she wanted both of us to hang out, and then what happened was, I'm gonna try to make this quick, but what happened was we hung out. We actually noticed that we had more stuff in common than me and my own best friend, and we ended up becoming best friends. But because the day that we were supposed to hang out, my best friend, the one that introduced us, bailed. So we didn't like her for that. And then me and her aligned against her. So I felt really bad. So that's why I say like friends can escalate into being if like they meet other people, they can become friends. I mean, that's how I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like relationships, you know how sometimes you meet like my best friend and in the end they end up hooking up, and that's what happened. And so that's why I say it's like a good thing, but it's a bad thing because you have to watch out for who is your real friend and who, and like the boundaries. You have to make sure that there are boundaries and walls so that you know like your place. Just because I brought you around my other friends does not mean that you have to be all buddy buddy and then start excluding me out of the picture, you know? So that's my personal take on it.
Alex?
Okay. So I don't like to really say, yes, I do. I'm too much. So, and then I don't just have like one take of me. I have multiple. And so then I have one side of me that only some people can handle, and that's just that group of friends. And then another side I like, and for another group of friends. And so then I don't mix those two together. Like I'll be this around them and being this with the other. It's not like me being fake, and it's just this what I like, and I know how they are. And so it's like I bring like for example, I'm goofy sometimes, and sometimes I can just be really chill. And so then it's like I'll be really goofy with the chill group and then start talking, joking around with them a certain way. It can kind of throw off the mood. And so then I just kind of don't like to do that. And then if I'm just like too chill, don't want to do nothing with the goofy group, and it's like, Alex, come on, you're being dry. What's wrong? And so I'm like, I just not so basically it's like I kind of done that in the past. Like I have just introduced like one of my best friends to to another group of friends, and so then it's like sometimes I didn't think that would probably work out, but then I just did it just to see. And then it's like at first everybody thought he was like pretty weird, but it just took a moment for them to like adapt to him. And so then it was just like it wasn't really too much anything bad. I don't think he like sometimes everybody tried to like gang up on me and be like kind of I won't say bullying. You know how you can mess with your friends a little bit. It was a little bit of that, but that's what they was doing to try to like bond in with each other. So like that's kind of what people do sometimes in order to try to flick on to that relationship. So that's how I go with that.
I mean, I agree with both of y'all, but I'm like leaning a little bit towards Jocelyn because with friends, I can say I am territorial. Like, you are mine. Pick a side, pick a side, pick a side and stay there. Especially like, because I'm like, loyalty is everything. If I'm having an issue with my other friends and stuff like that, you need to be that friend that I can talk to and be like, yeah, they stupid. Hmm. So like I can be very, very territorial in that aspect because I really don't like sharing. Like, you share food, you share toys and stuff like that, but you don't share people. And that's just how I personally feel on that. But shifting gears just a slight bit because we all are newly graduates. And I'm right, I said that right.
Yes.
Okay.
Newly
So
graduate.
we are all newly graduates, and friends is a thing in high school. It's always about, who has the most friends and all that kind of stuff. So my question will be is, do you believe that there is social class in high school or in school in general? Starting with Jocelyn.
Yes. And the reason I say this is because it's not like back in the day, like back in the 90s and stuff, like you had like the gangsters and you had like, the pink girls and then you had like the chola. It's not like that now. I feel like it's more divided as to like how you are naturally. So if you're really mean, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be with like the mean kids. If you're like really sweet, you're gonna be like mostly like with the people who have a lot of friends. Like I feel like there's a lot of social class, even if it's not even class, but like like sometimes juniors will sit with juniors, seniors will sit with seniors, freshmen, and so forth. And so I feel like it was social class like that. But then you could also have like your own little group that you had. So it was just like your two best friends, no matter if y'all were goofy, if y'all were mean, if y'all were this or y'all were that, y'all were always together. So I felt like maybe it was more just on closer groups than really like super on class. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I'm hoping I am. Um, so I'm hoping that you guys can relate to that because I know for me, I was never popular, but I wasn't like a nobody. I was just there. I was friends with everybody. Like what, no matter who you were, if you were cool, if you weren't cool, if you were a nerd, if you're stupid. I mean, I was just friends with you. I mean, it didn't matter. I felt like if I had a connection with you, it doesn't, you know, phase me what class you were. So that's my take.
Alex?
Okay, I could vibe to that really well. Like I wasn't really too popular, but then also I knew a lot of people at the same time. It's like I could vibe on to people like really easily. It was just like, okay, I was friends or cool with people that was just like really quiet, and then sometimes it was like the popular kids, or then sometimes it was just people that were just all about style. It was just some people that was just like the football kids, art kids, and I don't know. It was just like, and sometimes even different grades. It was just like mostly from like my sophomore year to my senior year, I could just pretty much vibe anybody. It was, but then like, is there thing it's like social? I'm sorry, what's the word you using?
Class?
Social class. I would say yeah, because it was always just like that group. It's like I didn't like look down on them. It was just like, they're their own thing. I'm just not part of that, and it's just like I'm not interested in being a part of it either. Because there was also a group of like, what's the appropriate word I should say? Stoners. Yeah, there you go. Because I'm not like a big time smoker, like at all. It's like I'm not against anything. It's just not my preference. And so then it was just like it was a group of people of them, and so then I was just like, that's them. I was like, I'm not looking down on you or nothing. That's what you. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's just not me. But then, yeah, that's definitely a social class.
Well, okay, so just to say my take on it, so I do agree with you both, but I didn't really I just kind I guess for me I can say like I went to the school where and then I switched schools like 3 times, and then I ended up Pearland my second semester of my junior year and finishing off with my senior year. But I went to a dominantly black school or dominant Hispanic school. So, social class wasn't really a thing because everybody was kind of like, well, we all the same because we all broke. We all ain't got money. And we was in uniform at Sharpstown, so it's like we all dressed the same. So ain't no, you better than me. It's like we both got on this collar shirt, button down, khaki pants, tucked in shirt. So it was never really. I never really saw social classes until I got into Pearland, which is not mainly black and Hispanic, and not mainly minorities. Let me say that, not mainly minorities. So that was a little different for me because I've never actually dealt with cliques. Cliques was something that I was just kind of like, okay, that's just stereotype. Like that's something you see in the movie. So it was never thought of to be an issue. Like there was actual football. The football players hanged out with the football players. You know, I never seen actually gothic people in real life. There were the people that was dark and just gothic. There was the theater geeks, the band geeks. It was just all these many different cliques. And I guess one question I would ask to you two is, does race have anything to do with it?
Oh, that's big.
That's kind of
All
touchy though.
right, before it really is a touchy subject. So I want to go into this being very open-minded, and this is just my opinions. This is what I believe in. This is what I think. So please do not come at me. This is just I'm gonna try to make this as clear and not so messed up as the other answers I've ever done. Um, I do believe race has a bigger thing to do with it. Now, I'm not going to say huge, bigger. It's in the middle of big and huge, bigger. Um, because I feel like being Hispanic for me, I feel like most of the times I always like if I was a new kid in school, let's go with that. If I was a new kid in school and I was going to school, I well, I really didn't care who I hung out with, but most of the time, I mean, you kind of go for somebody who appeals more to you. Like for me, I always went for the somebody who was like they did their makeup, they had pretty, black hair or pretty brown hair, and then they had like they were, Hispanic. Like those were really where I drifted towards. And as the school progressed, like the year progressed, I was going out and being like talking to anybody and everybody, which most of the time I was, but I feel like people like to go towards what they feel is their certain crowd, and a lot of the times it really is the most common way to find that is through your own race. So I'm hoping that I'm getting my point across is that when you first go into something, you kind of go towards your kind, and then you kind of like to go and try other flavors, and then in the end or in the middle, you kind of realize, all right, well, and like I didn't have nothing in common with her. Yeah, she looks like me. Yeah, we like to do makeup, but it's not like that. And then you have like this person who does not look like you, but has the same interests as makeup and is super friendly and super funny, whether being um, a different race, such as, a white, African American. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like whoever you're friends with is who you want to be friends with. And nobody could tell you different because it's your friends. And yeah, I mean, I probably have more to say, but I feel like for right now, this is all I can think of. So yeah, Alex, you want to go next?
Sure. Okay. So all my life, I always been trying to like avoid like anything like involving like race. Like I would say, like anything like involving differences or anything, because I don't like to believe in that. So I like to think of that. But sadly, in the world, that's kind of what we live in. Like, not much how much I try to deny that. But from like from me growing up all the way, I want to say to like sixth grade, I mostly just went to schools who were more, like dominated black people. And then once I came to Pearland, it was just a mixture of everything. And so then it was just like it didn't take me too long to start adapting to that. It was to say it's ending hard. It was like Mexicans was blacks, and then it was like whites, and then had Indians, and then Asians. It was pretty much everything. It's just all combined to one. And so it's just like whenever, like has race ever has to do with like going around to people, yes, yes, because it sometimes it did feel like going into your own race was just easier. So, but then it's like I'm more of like an open book, and then like I like to try new things. And so with that, I just had to come from, okay, talking to just my race, and I was like, huh, I wonder what they're like, so let's go talk to them. And so I'm sorry, can y'all hear me, because it did get really quiet.
We can hear
Yeah,
you
it's just
just muted
that.
themselves.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that was
I'm
one of
sorry.
like our things. It's like, yeah, we do. It's just so that it doesn't like intervene like with how you're saying it, or like if there's
Right.
not like a huge mic sound. So yeah,
And
no,
so
but
you won't hear us
honestly, I can
breathing.
agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely agree with Alex. I get where you're coming from. It was never intentional. Like you don't do it intending to just go towards one person. You do it because it just seems easier. But
yeah.
yeah, I like to venture out too.
Um,
Anybody else doesn't? Alex, were you done?
um I guess for now, yeah, there was more I could say, but that's all came up for now.
I mean, well, Jocelyn, you know me to venture out. um, so it's kind of like what he said. For one, I don't know if I made myself a target when I came to Pearland, but like I just felt like I had bullseye on my body because, of course, for one, there was no black people with. Well, you both seen how my hair is openly, so it's much bigger. There was no black person that was like that who had long hair. Secondly, the way I dress was out of the norm. I wore stuff like pink, I wore blazers. I did, long dramatic, clothes, and all that kind of stuff like that. So of course, my appearance made a target for itself. So, going to the school with, all these many clicks and stuff like that, which was my next question. It was like, okay, so it's like, where do I go? Because I can't necessarily go with the black people because they're, do not give me no hate on this comment. Please do not give me no hate on this comment that I'm about to make. I'm saying that to the viewers, please, because what I'm about to say, a lot of people ain't gonna like. But I feel like I couldn't go to the black people because I kind of feel like they were whitewashed. There wasn't they like they wasn't, especially me coming from a dominantly black school where it was kind of it was a certain way. We were prep rallies were more fun, they were more dramatic. We had a lot of school spirit and everything. Everything was, big and grand. And I come to this school where everybody, and in the black schools, it's like head to toe, you had to, when I'm not saying black schools, minority schools, head to toe, you had to look presentable. If you had nice shoes, if you had, a certain type of fit, I knew this girl who had her hair and makeup done every single day she came to school, and she had on some type of dramatic dress. But that's how it was over there. So coming here, it wasn't really like that. People didn't really care about their appearance as much. So it was like I'm coming in this new area, this new atmosphere with these new people, and everybody's just kind of looking at me. So it's like, I'm like, okay, where do I go? Do I go with them? Do I go with them? Or do I try to find somebody that I can connect to or try to talk to somebody in class? So yes, I wouldn't say race played a part in that. I wouldn't necessarily say race played a part in that. I would just say it was just the atmosphere alone that really played a part in that. So, well, I see Jocelyn has something to say, so I'll let her say something. Did you have something to say?
No, like I mean, to be honest, I understand where you're coming from with the whole like the way it was set up at like Pearland. I get where that's coming from. Um, I do want to say like for me, I guess I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are gonna have a lot of emotion about what you just said, and I understand why. Because I feel like for me personally, I never noticed it until I was there. So I did want to put out there that if you're thinking about it and you're trying to be like, well, Joseph is wrong for that, I can understand where you're coming from. Because to me, I was like, oh God, oh my God, it's going down the wrong way, going down the wrong way. Come up, come up. But no, I get where you're coming from. So I think if you do go to the school, I think you would, and if you were in Joseph's shoes, you should be open minded to the fact that if you don't understand it until you go to that school, and if you did go to that school and you're like me and didn't see it, um, well, there's more. There's three panels to show you, what it was really like. I mean, yeah.
Well, I believe it was still like very similar from like going from where I came from to transfer to Maryland. Like you still, for example, you still had to like dress nice and you still had to have like some nice shoes. For me, I still had my bum days, not gonna lie. Like I just didn't care. I just drew on the hoodie, sometimes drew on sweats if I feel like I could get away with it. Cause dress code. Yeah, I just went on. But then has I just went brain dead. uh,
It's okay. Well, while you try to, was it reboot your thought? Let's read, let's read a couple of comments. Daddy says, "What do you do when a certain group has too much power?" And baby Kiki says, Why do people feel like they should put others down if they don't look or act a certain, will act like them or act a certain way. And I agree with that because for the longest time, based off of how I dress, and most people would think I got good reactions. I did not. And I can tell you, and Jocelyn, you came from the
You
school.
know you were
I was,
really
yeah,
good. You know you dress really nice.
of
But
course I
whatever.
know.
Okay, go.
But people had the perception of me. When people looked at me,
Hmm.
they immediately thought, and hopefully those people not on here, but if you are, then it is what it is. Them people looked at me and was like, "Oh, he gay."
I felt it on
Straight
me,
like
bro.
that. Straight like that. They looked at me and they was like, "Oh, like even I have some other friends that was like, no, I assumed that like because of how you dress and you kept up with yourself and stuff like that, that you was gay." And I was like, so if I keep up with myself, if I have a nice, good, maintenance and all that kind of stuff, automatically. But that's a different topic. So to answer that question, I really don't know why, if others, look or dress a certain way, and they act like that. And I'm gonna let somebody else carry the torch, and I'm gonna just say this very short story. So we had apparently we had this one day. We had like a throwback day or something like that. And I think it was 80s. I think it was 80s day. And I was walking in. Of course, I dressed the whole. It was homecoming week. So of course, homecoming week. They have these different. They have Alien Day, Triple Threat, Pajama Day, Throwback Day, all that kind of stuff. To see, for each day, I would do the outmost because that's just how I like to present myself. I just like to make my appearance in that way. But to make a long story short, I came in dressed a certain way. I had on, a long sleeve shirt with a what you call it, a vest on with some blue jeans and dress shoes. Which to somebody probably like you guys probably like, okay, what's wrong with that? Which I still don't know to this day. But I was walking by a group of people, and I remember because I was walking home, I walked by a group of people, and they said it was throwback, not gay. And I remember I was walking home, and this is a friend of mine had pulled over and had told me to get in the car and all that kind of stuff. But it was a group of people, and I remember their faces exactly because I still want to fight them. I ain't got strong vengeance against them and stuff like that because I know people gonna say what they want to say. But they was like just saying like the worst things, and I was like, okay, so where do I fit in? Where do I go? Of course, I don't care about fitting in. Of course, that never came across my mind. But it's like somebody looking outside looking in. It's like, okay, if you're trying to go into any type of social club or anybody's trying, the thing is like, where do you put yourself? Where do you fit in? Where do you go? Because everybody's automatically, based off how you look coming in, they prejudge you, and they either gonna say, yeah, you're with me, or next. So yeah, I don't know if you guys had anything to add on to that or anything of that sort.
Well, I just wanted to say, like, I think for I know that the one of the questions was like, where do you like if there's a higher class than you, and I wanted to answer that because I wanted to say that if there is somebody that's a little bit in the higher class than you, do not feel that you have to be just in the shadows. Do not feel that, oh my God, just because they hang out with all the popular kids, that they're mean and they're obnoxious. I mean, some of them are, but I mean, most of the time you end up being wrong about it and you're like, oh my God, like you were actually really sweet, but like I always thought this whole time. So I want to say that to always be open minded and that if you feel like somebody's higher than you, do not let them take control of you. Do not feel like, oh my God, like I'm gonna be lower than them and I'm not gonna be popular. Like that's never the case. Worry about you and stick up for yourself, be true to yourself because I mean that's really all you can do through high school. I mean, at some point either you're gonna fit in or not, but if you focus on yourself and you're true to yourself, you will succeed. Like you will find who you're supposed to be friends with and who you're supposed to not be friends with, and you'll just know. And before you know it, some people actually become popular, not even knowing that they are, part of it. And I know, and then the other question was like, why do people bring other people down for being different? Is that what it was?
Pretty much.
Okay, well, I think I want to say to that is that I feel like nobody should bring somebody down, because if you listen to Joseph's story, like some people were saying that it was gay to the way he dressed, but then some people were saying that it's throwback. So you always have to say that if you're gonna do something to you, to somebody, that day will be like, oh my god, that's so ugly, or oh my god, that's so
Right.
weird, or oh my god, all these comments. You know what you say? You're like, okay, you think it's ugly, I think it's cute, and you take back your control and you manage what you want to do. Like you do what you want to do, because before you know it, you'll probably be the first person to do it, and everybody else who sees it around you that you may not even know will continue the trend, and you'll probably be one of the first people to do the trend, and you won't even know it. But if you listen to people who are speaking negative on you, you're never going to get there. You're always going to feel closed and trapped, and you shouldn't feel like that, because life is about living, and if you can't live yours, then you need to learn to live it, because life is great. Yeah. Alex, anything?
I would not say that you're never gonna get there because people's talking negative about you or pushing you down. Because in the day, you could like you and feel the way you do and enjoy it and not care what anybody's saying. That's exactly how I was. Cause literally, my whole entire time, all they did was just draw assumptions what they thought about me. Matter of fact, I had a bunch of, I can't tell you how many people thought that I was gay because the way how I dressed. Because I mostly wore skinny jeans, I had studs in my ears, and I don't know, like the sound of my voice, which is something I couldn't really control. But then again, that's what people assumed about me. And then it was just like, okay, it was just like at one point I was thinking, it's like, why do people actually think that? But then at one point after that, I was like, why does it even matter? It doesn't. Because as long as I'm enjoying it, that's all that matters. And so with that, would the people like just assuming this stuff about you, how do you fit in, whatever, is how I did it. I joined like the group, the people that was willing to actually talk to me, like I'm an actual human being. And so with that, okay, after talking and talking, we've been up build connection and whatever. And I didn't have a problem with people asking me like, "Hey, are you gay?" No, it's like matter of fact, you could like I matter of fact, I just straight up told them, "Nah." I had no problem with it. I wasn't offended by it or nothing. Just it was a simple question. Like there's people that's like that, and there's no problem with that. But you can straight up ask me. I don't care what it is, who you are. You want to ask me a question, I'll straightforward give it to you straight up. Was like, hey, nah. But for some reason, a bunch of people thought it was, and that's just what they assumed. And so, and it was just from how I sound, because I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of a squeaker. And I just wore skinny jeans a lot. But then with all of that, there's still some people out there that just like, hey, I should go talk to him, see what he's like. And so then luckily I was blessed to have people like that. Not that I need anybody. Yes, I do. But but it was nice. It was sweet. And because it's just like you always had people just always talking about you or trying to always draw you down. And so then literally I just looked at them with a bold face, like, okay, I didn't pay no attention to them. People that was hype themselves up. I'm like, good for you. And I just kept on minding my business. And literally, it's like when you find people like that, that's how I clicked on and just kept moving.
um, yes, like just like you said, like I agree with everything that you have said, and I guess the issue that I really had with it was, and which comes to my next question, is the simple fact that it says, do teachers promote social class? That's the question. But my main thing was the simple fact that teachers asked me the same thing, and they fed into it. And I was like, okay, well, if you ask me the same thing, then why are you asking me the same question? Like, what's the difference? And they said, because we want to know. And I was like, okay, well, if you want to know, then why are you asking me? And they fed into it. that's what like in at times like because like I said, people our age like usually I'm pretty much got tough skin. You pretty much tell me anything and they're like, okay, whatever, you know, moving on, next. But it's like when your teacher says it, or when somebody of higher authority over you, because it's not somebody you can just say, okay, bye, you're fake news. It's somebody who's over you, somebody who's putting you in the grade, somebody who's so when those people ask you questions like that or make comments of that sort, it's almost like, okay, now I feel disrespected. Like, it's like now I feel disrespected because you ask, for one, you're asking me inappropriate questions, and then two, you're feeding into the social class because now you're giving attention to those who fits your description. So because they fit your description now, they get a little bit more favoritism. So, for instance, if I need help on something like that, you will help them before you'll help me. You'll let them go to the restroom before you let me, which I didn't deal with that. I was the person that walked out of class to go to the restroom because I didn't play those games. And all my teachers really liked me. It was only one teacher, just throwing it out there. But that's neither here nor there. But it's so that was the question I asked. Like, do teachers feed into and promote the social class? Because I have had a teacher that says, like, Joseph, why do you dress like that? So, yeah. What do you guys think?
Um, I actually do believe teachers promote, not promote it, but like I feel like teachers do have favorites. You know, like I know I had a teacher who literally I had a teacher who literally, like, she was so sweet and so kind to the jocks. Like, she loved the jocks. She loves, she loved football. She loved it all. Like, and if they were to come to her, like, the day before, like, report cards and tell her, I did all of my missing work from the last 3 weeks, she would go in the grade book and just give them 75, like, it's nothing. And I remember being like, dude, but you see me struggling, and you know I'm struggling because I've been trying to talk to you, and you put me aside because I'm not a jock. And plus, she kind of liked to go after like the popular girls, I guess because maybe she was popular in the past. I don't know. I don't know the issues with that, but I know I was just not one of her favorites. Like I was that kid that she was like, ah, you'll make it. You're gonna make it. Eventually, you're gonna make it. And I'm like, but you don't, but you're the one that takes control of the grades. Like I need that 80 now, So I definitely can agree that I don't think they promote it, but I definitely do. They have favorites, and I feel like sometimes the favorites can get to their head, and then they end up trying to act like they're all that because like they're like, oh well, I got Miss such and such wrapped around my pinky because she just does it for me, because she can, you know. So I feel like maybe that's an issue, but I really don't have much to say about that. So yeah.
Okay. Um, I most definitely like. I'll see what part of my high school year should I started with a teacher. That's like okay. Um, I definitely had different kind of teachers, and then it was just like I had like I'm pretty sure this is everybody. You had some bad ones. It was just like I won't. No, some of them did kind of discriminate just on base type of what kind of person you are or what they think you are or because you're not a popular kid or whatever or even just the people who you just somewhat hanged around. And so with that, it was just like, okay, I had teachers on top of teachers. Like I stayed on them, and then it was just like I had my mom. She every time she saw something wasn't in grade book, like it's like something blank or it's not the grade was supposed to be, which is either supposed to be an A or B. She's on my ass. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep it appropriate. And so, okay, and so then I try to keep my cool. I go to the teacher, I had to let her know, it's like, hey, I either corrected this or I turned this in, or if I didn't turn in, what can I do about that? And so then whenever I do, I'm like, okay. Sometimes they still didn't put it in. And so then like I'm still getting my neck chewed on, and you're not putting in my stuff. Like how you're benefiting me. And so like after me telling you so many times, at this point I just want to drop you, go to a new teacher. And so, and it's not like I was a troublemaker. Or I'm just like talking rude. I'm gonna get look. I'm like the chillest guy, but you push me to a certain point. I could be a real pain. I'm trying to keep it clean, so that's why I off with. And so it's just like, but then I have some really cool teachers. It's like they love to talk to you anything that had nothing to do with schoolwork, and then I still had a good grade in there. Don't ask me how, but anything, anything that was going inside the school, like what, don't matter who it was, it could have been like the jocks, the cheerleaders, um, band, quiet kids outside of school. That's just what they like to talk about. And so then it's like sometimes, okay, I would tell a little bit about me and what's my take on stuff, and then that's just literally what I would talk about the whole period. And so, but then it was just like there was some teachers, it was just like, there, I don't know, it was just like it was just a bunch of loud people. I would say like those loud group of females. It's mostly females. I'm saying it's not guys, but it's mostly females. And then they'll just talk to them the entire time and whatever. And then like she would treat them a certain way. But then it was just like sometimes when it comes to other people, they just get like all the bad attitude or whatever. Like he has something against them. It's like whoa, like I never like I won't say anything most of the time, anyways. But I'll just like have that dot sitting there. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with this picture? Like, what's up with that? But yeah,
Yes, I dealt with my fair share of teachers. That's all I'll say. And some of them tried to not exempt me from my senior year, but it was by the grace of God that I still exempt. And all those receipts that I came in that classroom with, I know we're not supposed to say names and stuff like that, but you know who you are. You for astronomy, you didn't want to exempt me and all that kind of stuff. And I asked you to exempt me 1,000 times, and you say you're not doing exemptions, but I got my exemption. So good people always win. All I got to say is good people always win. Hello, but oh, where did Jocelyn go? Okay. Well, that pretty much sums up everything. We actually did good today. We actually did 48 minutes and 10 seconds. We usually be on here for hours, so we actually did good today. And I'd just like to give a special thanks to the people a part of my panel today. Alex, thank you for being
no
here.
problem.
I begged this guy. I begged that guy. I was like, "Can you please, please?" And he was like, "I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how this works." So I really, really appreciate. And we met in person like one time, just one time, and we exchanged text messages and all that kind of stuff like that. But so he really don't know me from a can of paint. So I really do appreciate him for being a part of my panel for today. Please come back. We would want you to come
No
back.
problem.
Please. Yeah,
Yes.
please. We want you to come back.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn, that's my girl right there. She's always welcome here. You guys, she can. We haven't got into the juicy stuff yet,
Mm.
but further down the line, we'll start getting into juicy stuff for next week, and she can really, really dig deep in some stuff. But I want to thank you guys for being a part of my panel, and I also want to thank the viewers. I'm sorry if I didn't get to all your comments because I did see them, but I'm sorry I didn't get to all your comments. But thank you for tuning in. And please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to be a part of my panel for the future, please, like I said in the beginning, I will take my recent post and repost that and DM me, letting me know that you want to be a part of my panel. And this will be on my social media platform so you guys can view it. And if you guys have anything else to say, any finishing
Oh,
statements?
No,
okay. I'll hit real quick. Oh, sorry. Oh, wait, Alex, you want to go?
no, I don't really have anything.
Um, I just want to say thank you for having me again. And then, I'm just glad to be a part of this. And, sorry, I didn't know Alex was going to speak. I thought, it was going to be silent. So I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, that's
This
it.
was really
That's
fun.
it.
Yeah, this was really fun. It was like a first time experience, and I was like, I was just at first I was just kind of like, what's this gonna be about? But then I was just like, I get to try something new, so I was just showing it. It was pretty fun. So I'll definitely be back soon.
Yes, well, you heard it here. I got him on record saying that. So when I message him, I can take this clip and DM him and let him know. But their social media platforms will be linked down below, and you guys stay tuned for that. So if not anything else, bye bye, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.